Hello, hello. Really pleased to see you guys coming back and some new faces as well, which is really cool. And actually, I'm going to change the view for a minute because I need to introduce you to a couple of people. If you're, oh, beautiful, whoever's not on mute, if you could please mute yourself. But I wanted to introduce you to, I know Fleur's a regular, Kelly's a regular. Hopefully the rest of you will become regulars too. But I wanted to introduce you to our new team members, Wendy and Helen. So you'll be seeing them, well, Wendy's presenting tonight and I know Helen's going to present next week. So just thought you'd like to see their faces. There they are. All right. I'm going to come back to me. Oh, hang on. Sorry. It's saying to the girls, it's too hot and sweaty to do anything fancy at the beginning. We're just, I don't know about you, it's absolutely pouring off me. Although we do have the rain now, which is great. Although I've got a very frightened dog down by me. All right, so welcome, Happy New Year. Thanks for coming back and joining us. And I just wanted to make sure that those of you who are curious, if anybody has a TM31 or a TM5 or a TM21, which is from a long time ago, we are having this trade up offer in February, from the 14th to the 28th of February. And if you are interested in finding out more about that, please contact your consultant and they can tell you about it. Okay. The other thing is with this trade up offer, it's actually a really good opportunity for people. If you wanted to earn yourself a TM31, it's a great opportunity if you know people who have the other Thermomixes. Sorry, just making sure we've got everybody on mute here. There we go. If you've got a few friends and family members who who love the Thermomix but have got older models, great opportunity to come on and earn yourself a TM6 with by making sales with your family and friends. And you know what, it's just so good just having people to share with. I mean Kelly and I know a lot of you know Kelly and I live opposite each other and we run across the road with cocktails and all sorts of things. So it's a lot of fun when you've got people to share with. Anyway, let's get on with it. I just want to know if you could pop in the chat if there's anyone on here at the moment who does not own a TM6. And I know you don't. Anybody else on here who doesn't own a TM6? That would be really great. Okay. All right, I'm going to get started, and reminding you about one of our limited time host rewards, which goes till the 1st of March. This is the blade cover peeler, and I had the most amazing testimonial for it from Belinda, who's on tonight. Today, saying that it peeled potatoes for 9 of them for Christmas Day. So this, as I said, is a limited time host reward. If you know anybody who's curious about checking out the TM6, get them together. You can bring them along to one of these, a couple of people along, and that gets you to qualify for host rewards. So it is a fabulous thing. Oh, you can use it to make dinner tonight too, Belinda. Fantastic. Wonderful. That's great. All right, better turn the machine on. All right, so tonight is all about looking at immune boosting ingredients, and we have 4 dishes that we're making for you, and we'll talk a little bit about those as we go through. But I've also put together a little bit of a slideshow just to talk a little bit about some of these ingredients and why they are important in regards to immune boosting. But we'll get started because my dish takes a little while, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I've just turned my machine back on. Just have to show you this. Look at this down here.
Because of the thunder.
Wendy, you don't have a machine yet. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, all right, in that case, I'll just give a really quick rundown of the TM6, and I know Maria's machine is very new for her too. So if we have a look at the screen of the TM6, if you've got a TM5, it's very, very similar. We're still dealing with time, temperature, and speed. Whichever one of these dials is large, is controlled with this knob over here. So we turn our time up here, our temperature up here. Everything up to 120 is on a thermostat. So it's going to go up to that temperature and click off, just like your heater or your aircon at this time of year. If you want to steam anything, it needs to be on varoma temperature, because varoma temperature is a rolling boil. It does not cut off at all. It keeps creating the steam for you. This is your speed. This little symbol here means that your blades are chopping. That little symbol means that they're on reverse, so they're stirring. Okay, quick look at this screen. This is just showing you a whole lot of the functions of the TM6. Our scales, which are fantastic. They are 1 gram increments. I'll just take a couple of things off and show you that. Okay, so we can put something on like that. We can also then just tear, and we can keep adding things. Okay, so they are fantastic. You can change the function, where the functions sit on your screen, and this is what suits me. I don't use, what don't I use? I've got down the bottom here somewhere. Oh, the dough mode I don't use a lot of. But you can change them by just using these three little dots up here. So if you've got a TM6, you can edit your view and you can move things around. Okay. So we've got turbo, we've got pre-clean. Pre-clean is fantastic. You can put some water in there and you can set it off and it will do a clean for around about 8 minutes, 12 minutes if you're using the browning function. Got an automatic blend, the egg boiler. This is a game changer. Pop some eggs directly into the bowl. None of this in the simmering basket. And you can put up to 6 eggs in there, decide how you like them, set them going, and then keep going. You know, it'll let you know when it's done. Kettle mode, I don't use a lot, but there is actually a new collection on Cookie Do, a reasonably new one, which is all about different teas. So that will be using that. Warm up is great in winter for soups and things. Not so good at the moment for salads. You don't need to warm those up. Thicken mode, I just use in guided cooking, as I do the rice cooker. Fermentation, which is making your yogurt. Slow cooking and sous vide, you need the blade cover for. That's the blade cover peeler now. Dough mode is for kneading your dough. 2 minutes in here is equivalent to 25 minutes by hand. And that is using the peeler mode of the blade cover peeler. So that's a quick little rundown. And then we can go this way, and that will take us straight to our recipe platform. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about that on the computer a little bit later. So we'll get going, otherwise we'll be here forever. And as you're looking at this, if you think of anybody that you'd like to show it to, obviously pop their name down and then talk to your consultant. So in here, I've got my week. And in my week, I have the recipes that we are cooking today. And I am doing ginger meatballs in scallion broth. Okay. Now, one thing you need to notice with this one, I'm going to just go start cooking. It is actually, we can't see, actually you can see, it's an American recipe. So it's in inches and ounces and pounds. So the Thermomix automatically changes the units to whatever unit is required. All right, so get going. I put a few things in together because it's just a little bit easier with prepping. Believe how sticky it is. So I've got the scallions, that's spring onion in Australian, okay. Bell peppers are your capsicum, and they are absolutely jam-packed full of vitamin C. The garlic cloves, we know garlic, you know, is something that's used a lot when it comes to colds and things. Ginger, again, that's really good, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a bit later on. Okay, so I'm going to put those in first. Okay. Now, when it comes, I don't have panko breadcrumbs in my fridge, so, sorry, in my pantry. So what I actually did today was actually just ground up some almonds. So you just use what you do. If you don't have something, you don't have to go out and buy it. I could have ground up seeds if you're allergic to nuts. I could have done sunflower seeds, but I'm popping those in. Dried chili flakes. These are hot chilies, so and actually it's a bit hard to tell if I've put them in already. I've just put a couple of little things in there because they are seriously hot and spicy. What happens when your husband goes shopping? 1 egg yolk. So I'm sure you can appreciate I had to leave a lot of things in the fridge for the last minute. So I've got my egg yolk there. Egg white will go in our breakfast tomorrow. And I'm going to pop the lid on. 5 seconds, speed 5. Just tell me exactly what to do. And then it says 24 ounces of ground chicken, which is obviously, I'll just show you what it's looking like. Get nice and spicy in there. Put that down. Pushing the sides down. Okay. Now, I think I'm a bit under here, but, you know, it's 500 grams. And I was thinking about this today because there's been a few American recipes where they have different quantities to what we would use and how we buy things. So, again, I'm not going to go and buy something and have things left over. I'd rather just do what I can. So that's 17.5 ounces. Okay. Still got my little friend down here with me. All right, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. So I've just got my sesame oil here. I'm a bit of a guesser. Yeah, that'll do. And 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. So doing this, you can use tamari, gluten-free soy sauce, whatever you want to do. Okay, put the lid on. Just get that in. Now, I did make some early today because I didn't want to spend a whole heap of time actually making the meatballs whilst we're here. So, and I'm going to put this on just, I felt it needed a little bit longer. So I'm going to just turn up to speed 3. So it says transfer to a bowl and set aside. It hasn't actually mixed everything up, so I'm just going to give it a quick little mix. I reckon you actually go speed 4 for this. Just going to give it a quick little mix here, and I am just going to put it aside because, as I said, I've made some earlier. But it's an amazing mixture. And what I normally do when I'm making meatballs, I have these little tong things here, and I just use those. But when I try to do that with these. With this mixture, it's too sticky. So it is a hands-on, you know, sort of messy thing that you have to do. You can either just use, just oil your hands, or I just use a little bit of flour to roll them in. So I have made them here earlier. And it's asking me to actually, transfer to a bowl, rinse the mixing bowl, that's okay. Line the Varoma dish with parchment paper and pop them into the Varoma dish and the Varoma tray. So here is my Varoma. I've got, this is the paper you can get from the mix shop, only because I earned it as an incentive. I'm using that in the tray. The other one is a parchment paper, which I would prefer to use, but I figured I might well use, with the whole zero waste thing, you've got to use what you've got rather than throwing it out. So I'm using these up until I don't need to have any more, and then I'll go to my parchment paper. And I've got parchment paper in there. When you're steaming, you do need to make sure that the paper is wet, and then you wring it out. And then that allows the steam to get through a bit quicker. So I'm going to just put some of these meatballs in here. Oh, good suggestion, Kelly. Thank you. I'm quite excited to try them though, because they're a little bit different. And they've got more veggies in them than a lot of the meatballs that we generally make. So, all right, pop those in there, and I'm going to pop the tray on there and pop the rest of them. Sorry, excuse my hands. So just popping these in here, and just want to spread them out a little bit and make sure that the vents at the side here are open so that the steam can come through. They're not exactly super round, but I'm sure if you're a perfectionist, you can make them super round. I'm not a perfectionist though. Bit of hand washing involved. All right, so that's there. They're ready to go on in a minute. But in the meantime, I have another bowl. That's another good reason to come on as a consultant. You can earn yourself a bowl too. 12 scallions. So again, we're looking at, you're a perfectionist, Helen, okay. You have to get used to me, I'm definitely not. I've got my spring onions in there. And 2 teaspoons of fish sauce. Oh, hang on. Thought I had all that sorted. I've hidden it somewhere. So, fish sauce. Okay, 2 teaspoons of fish sauce. Again, a little bit of a guesstimate. Okay. 1 teaspoon of salt. One teaspoon of sesame oil. Put my lid on. It's very, very simple. We're just following instructions straight off the screen. 3 seconds, speed 5. So there we go, chopped up in there. Asking me to scrape down the sides. Pop the lid on, and it's going to cook for 3 minutes. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do now quickly. Your guesstimates are killing you, Helen. I'm sorry. Oh, you're funny. All right. What I'll do now, I've got 3 minutes while this is cooking. I might just show you a little bit of this slideshow thing I put together, just to talk a little bit more about immune boosting. So, my notes. All right, so we are showing you a few different dishes tonight, which are obviously all immune boosting things, all for different reasons. So this one here. So vitamin C, I've got this one up because Wendy's actually going to use, she's going to use some beautiful fruits to make a smoothie. But your vitamin C, your daily dose is 75 grams for women and 90 grams, milligrams for women and 90 milligrams for men. Now, your body doesn't actually produce vitamin C and it doesn't store it. So that actually means that every day you need to have a little bit of a dose of your vitamin C, particularly at the moment when we need it to boost our immune system. So some interesting things I found about this was a papaya, you can see here on the right here. One papaya has double the daily dose of vitamin C in it. One green chili contains 109 milligrams of vitamin C. So Pearl will be fine eating chilies with curries and things. Thyme, fresh thyme, has 25 grams of fresh thyme. And I know that's quite a lot, but that's 45 milligrams, which is half of your daily intake. 1 cup of kale is 80 milligrams, which is your daily intake for a woman. Lemons, 77 milligrams per 100 grams, and oranges, 53 milligrams per 100 grams. So I just thought it's quite interesting to see what, you know, that we all go oranges and lemons and stuff like that, but there's so many other different fruits and veggies that actually contain vitamin C. So if I go to this one, a little bit later on, I'm making Pearl's favourite salad, which is the 5-second traffic light salad. And the red capsicum has 3 times more vitamin C than an orange. Vitamin C, spinach has vitamin C and beta carotene. I can't even see because I can't, just hang on. Unfortunately, I can't see what I've got hidden underneath here. Hold on. But I know, I mean, broccoli is really, yeah, so that has vitamins A, C, and E. Beta carotene is used to make vitamin A, and they are all really good vitamins to boost your immune system. So you know how they say about eating the rainbow? This is why we have to do it, because it is really great for actually giving your body all the nutrition that it needs. All right, well, stop sharing that and I'll keep going with my dish. Okay. And if anybody's got any insights on any of this stuff, please pop it in the chat or come off mute and just have a word. All right. So now I have put in 50 grams of chicken broth. So I have my chicken stock, my homemade Thermomix chicken stock. But the other thing you can do, you can make bone broth in your Thermomix by putting in the blade cover at the bottom, popping your bones from your chicken in there, covering it with water, and just letting it cook for, you know, an hour or so, just really slow cooking, and make your own bone broth, which of course is really good for your gut as well. But I'm going to use some of this. Sorry, I was telling the girls a little bit disorganized tonight in that had my booster yesterday and haven't had the best of days, let's just say. So I'm just going to pop some water in there as well. Okay. It's a lot of water. It's funny how we all get so used to the we get used to the measurements that we work in. So, you know, I have no idea what 50 ounces of water is. Must be about 750 grams, I'm thinking.
I think it's about 1,400.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's quite a lot. That'll do. Sorry, Helen. 1 ounce of ginger. So I've just peeled and chopped my ginger. That's going in. And I'm going to pop the varoma on top, and we're going to get steaming, and then we're going to move on to pearl. All right, so my varoma sitting on top. I've got all that broth in there. General rule is you need to have 500 grams of liquid in the bowl when you're steaming, and it usually is varoma temperature, speed 1 at minimum, and 2. Sorry, just going to mute that. Yeah, this is obviously speed 2. So I'm going to turn that up to speed 2, and that's going to cook for 18 minutes. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Pearl Boone, please. Thank you. Thanks, Pearl.
Yeah, hi everyone. Today I'm making my favorite, 2 of my favorite things. That is chili, garlic, and prawns. So I like prawns, I like chili, and I like garlic as well. So 3 of my favorite things. So let's start cooking. So here you go. So 4 garlic cloves. So I've increased my 4 to 8 garlic cloves because I like garlic. So I've got 8 garlic cloves here. 1 to 2 fresh green chilies, fresh chilies. So I'm using red because they'll be spicier. And I'm using 2 to 4 red chilies. As Mandy said, red chilies contain vitamin C. So I'm using vitamin C. So put all that there. Excuse of eating chilies. So yes, here, put all these. Mine is a very simple and fast dish. So next, insert the measuring cup. Next, for 3 seconds on speed 7. Next. Oh, the chilies are spicy. Sorry. Oh, the chilies are really spicy. Oh. So this is what my chilies look like. Oh, sorry. 50 grams of oil. I should have reduced my chilies, but fine. Half a teaspoon, a quarter teaspoon of salt, some paprika. Insert the measuring cup. So for 1 minute, I'm going to on temperature of 120 for 1 minute. Speed of 1. So you want to come back to me, Mandy, in a minute?
Oh, all right. Brent, if you want to come back to me, we'll just have a look at the next slide. All right. So yeah, so I'm making the salad shortly, which is it doesn't use the spinach, but it uses the other ingredients in here. And yes, it's absolutely bursting with really good, healthy ingredients that are going to boost our immune system. So next was looking at, this is what, this is Pearl's heaven here. Let's find my notes here. So garlic has immune boosting properties due to its heavy concentration of sulfur products, apparently. I don't know how it works, but that's what it tells me on Google. Ginger is more inflammatory, but it's really, really good for, ginger down here is really good for sore throats. And I'm sure everybody's heard of the whole travel sickness thing. It's meant to help with travel sickness, but apparently it's really good for sore throats. So if you are getting anything like that, if you do unfortunately get the big COVID, it's a really good thing for sore throats. And turmeric is a really good anti-inflammatory. But the thing you need to know with turmeric, the active component of it that's anti-inflammatory is called curcumin. And to activate it, it needs to be eaten or cooked or whatever you do with black pepper. So I have a smoothie that I make in the week, mango smoothie. Those of you on my group might have seen it posted. And even though there's not black pepper in the recipe, there is turmeric, and I put black pepper in it. All right, we'll come back to Pearl.
Okay, so I have done that. Now my next thing is prawns. I'll give you a tip about the prawns. If you're buying frozen, make sure that they are dry, because otherwise they'll become stew when you're cooking. So now I'm going to put my prawns. Okay, so I'm going to use a high heat function. So this is one of the functions of TM6. So place my splash guard on top of it, and it tells me to say done. So it's done. And for 4 minutes, it's going to cook on maximum speed temperature, and speed is just on sizzle. So it will be sizzling away. So I'll come to you back in 4 minutes.
Thank you. And yeah, that's one of the great things about this, the high heat function that we have on the TM6. So it's a great one for your, for cooking your onions, for if you've got lots of vegetarians or vegans or whatever, it's a great one for really getting those veggies going. All right. So we're going to move over to Wendy now for our debut with our team. Thank you, Wendy.
Hi there, everyone. Okay, we're making a very quick aloe vera. Well, actually, it's not. It's a tropical smoothie. It's got a few ingredients, mainly fruit and aloe vera. And we're going to start off. Basically, what I've done, I'll just show you what I've done. It's a little bit tricky, but it asks for some aloe vera gel. So if you do have an aloe vera plant in your garden, what I've done, I've taken a leaf off. And I don't know if you can see this on the camera because it is clear. I'll try and lift it up with the knife. I don't know if you can pick that up.
Yeah.
So it's like a I can't say the word. I can't get my words out. That's the one. A gel. It's very gooey and it was very hard to slice. So I've just thinly sliced the skin off. I tried the potato peeler, but a little Thermomix knife did the trick from the kitchen set, which was a host gift for me, which was lovely. I did manage to source from the chemist was a aloe vera juice, which is it's topical, so you can put it on your skin if you do get sunburn, but you can also, it's also edible, so you can use that with the reflection of the light there. Wasn't overly expensive, but you can also digest this. So I'm also going to pop a little bit of this gel in as well. Because of the restrictions and everything, I wasn't able to source the aloe vera gel in a health food store. But if you've got the plant, again, this recipe is in American imperial units, so I wasn't quite sure how much gel it was going to take or how much the planter had to take off in order to weigh the ounces. So I've got the liquid as well as a backup.
So you've got an aloe vera plant in your garden?
Yeah, I've got a few of them. So if anyone needs any, I can.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how. Well, I think there's just self-propagate. Yeah, but if you need a stem or two, there's lots around. I live in Parkdale, so quite a lot of us have got some of the plants around here. And there's also a little house around the corner that set up a Parkdale pantry. So anyone around the neighbourhood who's got extra herbs or extra food or surplus, some of the bakeries as well around the area, they set up in a little cupboard for them, or any reading books or things. So if anyone's going short or they've got extra, we kind of do a little swap as well. So
That's
I can
fantastic.
let anyone know where that is. So it's like a little community garden thing, unofficial, that we all share things as well. Now the fruit it was asking for was for pineapple, mango and papaya, and for frozen. Now I would normally use fresh fruit and freeze it myself. Mango, again, because of the situation with logistics with truck drivers and the chaos that the supermarkets are having with the dreaded COVID, I had to purchase frozen mango. I've got pineapple and the papaya. The kids ate all that, so I had to get some frozen dragon fruit, which in the tips and tricks it says on Cookadoo, apparently it brings a really nice bright flavour to the recipe. So we'll see how that looks when we mix it all up.
At least your kids will be well protected, well dosed with vitamin C.
Oh, they eat fruit like it's no tomorrow. So they're really, yeah, really stocked up. Also, I put in a recipe, and this is if you do have the TM6 and Cookadoo, even if you don't have the TM6, you can also subscribe to Cookadoo, and you can access it via your phone or a laptop or a smart device. And it often does have the tips in the instructions further down in the recipe. And this one said you can actually add in a tablespoon of super greens, which I have made. And basically it's a blend of your greens. So your leeks, the collard greens, so anything with a leafy green on with a stem. So you chop the stem off, your parsley, your leek, your silver beet, your spinach, your celery. You bake it basically in the oven for about 4 hours, and then you let it, you grind it in the machine, and then basically keep it in the fridge. So similar to how we do the stock powder, if you're going to put it down to a stock like powder rather than paste, and then you can just add that to your dishes, whether it's a soup or a drink, a protein ball. You can add it to scrambled eggs or anything, you know, where you put a scoop in and disguise it basically. So it's just adding that extra nutrient value to any dishes that you may make.
So I'll be doing this because I had no idea about that at all.
Yeah, so I'm going to add a little bit to my smoothie. And again, with the kids, what you can hide in there as well, it's got to be a bonus, hey? And even the hubby, but I didn't say that. Okay, let's get on with the drink. So basically it takes 30 seconds, this drink. So even in the morning, instead of it's a good breakfast smoothie as well, because you've got the extra in, you've got the coconut water as well, which is good for the warm weather because you've got the electrolytes, the natural electrolytes in there for aid dehydration. If your kids are also sporty, it's a good one for a pre-sport or even a post-sport drink too, just to top up on those electrolytes after they've been playing sport as well, rather than the sugary Powerades and anything that they may take with all that extra sugary stuff in there. So let's start with the instructions. So starting cooking. So again, it's in the American Imperial ounces. So we're just going to pop the frozen mango in. I have pre-weighed this. And again, if it's a little bit over, I don't mind. I'm not very pedantic with the measurements too much. So we're going to pop in the frozen mango. And click next. And we're going to, it says papaya, but we know we're doing the dragon fruit today. Just as I'm curious to see the burst of colour that the cookadoo is recommended. And the pineapple. Now then, this is where we need to weigh out the gel. So we'll see how we go with the gel. Just curious to know how much 2 ounces of this. Okay, so that's 0.3 ounce. So it's going to take a fair bit of leaf to get to 2 ounce of gel. So I'm going to back that up with the juice as well, which I'll probably need a bigger vessel. We'll pop that in. There we go. And it's asking for 18 ounces of coconut water. I just got the organic coconut water from Woolies on this one. And there's a little bit too much in there, but that's fine. And I'm going to add in, even though it doesn't ask me for it, just a tablespoon of the super greens powder. Add in the measuring cup, and it's going to get noisy for 30 seconds. And it's going to be 30 seconds on speed 6.
So I just think it's fantastic, and also what I love about having new members in the team, because we all know different things, and I would never have known about the green whatever they are. What did I just say they were? I've just put them in the chat. Super green powder. Would never have known that it was there and you could make it. But that's something really cool, and I might give that a bit of a whirl. And it's always good to add those things into your dishes. Is anyone a smoothie maker? Just post your favourite smoothie in the chat.
Okay.
Look at the colour.
That's amazing. It's gone into like a berry colour. Smells nice. I'll have a taste and we'll see how that goes. Now with the aloe vera as well, I didn't actually explain. So it's got the anti-inflammatory in there. A little useful fact here for like a trivia night, because I know Mandy loves her trivia, but it's actually got over 200 useful ingredients in there in the aloe vera plant itself, which I didn't know. I had a little Google earlier. So it's actually got a lot. We know it's good for skin and hair, obviously sunburn. It's also good for the lungs. So it helps with any bad bacteria. So if you've got influenza, sniffles, bronchitis. So I'm thinking it'd be good also if we get any COVID symptoms with, you know, that chesty cough or the sore throat. Good for allergies. It's got the vitamin C in there, helps balance the gut intestine. So it helps balance the flora, helps break down the sugars and fats with the natural enzymes that it has in there. So it's actually a really good natural plant source that, you know, we can grow in our garden. Obviously, in this case, it does take a fair bit to put into just one drink. But if you can source the juice from the chemist, which I can't remember off the top of my head what this cost, but I can find the receipt. It wasn't, and it didn't take too much out of the bottle. Yeah, I think this is the way to go, and it's a good all-round health benefit for everybody. So
that's wonderful, Wendy. We'll come back and have a look at it in a glass a little bit later on.
Thanks for having me.
But I love that. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. You might have to start an aloe vera farm for everybody. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
We're going to head back to Pearl.
It's back to Paul, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, I've finished my prawns are done. And they're not that spicy. They're nice.
They
They're
look amazing, Pearl.
Yeah, they do. Yes.
And is that just a bit of parsley on top, or what you put
Yes,
on top?
yes, I just put a little bit of parsley just to give it that good look.
But it's interesting because, you know, prawns are a really quick dish in the Thermomix, aren't they? Particularly if you use that high heat function.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only
wonderful.
Chilled beer's missing. So yeah.
You
Fantastic.
don't have much gravy either, Pearl.
Yeah. 2022, no alcohol. So
I know, we've got to find something else for you to do. Anything with garlic in it rather than alcohol.
and chili, yes.
Oh, chili and garlic. Yeah, okay. All right. We'll see what we can do.
Excuse me,
All right.
Pearl. If you want to have a gravy, you add a little bit water or something like that.
Because since I dried the prawns,
Yeah, it's not like a curry.
Yeah, so it's not a curry. It's just a stir-fried prawn sort of a thing.
Ah, okay.
But
Right.
if it's frozen, then you would get water from your prawns.
Yeah, I know. Then it will be too much water.
Yeah. So now there's no water at all. There is a very slight water, but not much.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go, Sarah. That's the prawn recipe. All right, so I'm just looking at my meatballs because it's just pinged. What I actually did, I noticed that it's a funny thing because when you put the baking paper or whatever and you wet it, it does take longer to cook. I actually pulled it all out partway through. But I'm not 100% sure if these are cooked yet, so I'm just going to cut them. Cut one. So, great tip here. All right. Whenever you take your varoma off, always pop your lid down first. Pop your varoma onto the lid so any drips will go in there. I'm just going to cut one of these in half and just have a look. No, it's not cooked yet. So I'm going to put that on for a little bit longer. It says set aside and keep warm. In fact, what I'm going to do is do a little bit of swapping around. So we've had a really big week, Thermomix wise. We've had lots of events on, and I was watching a class the other day with Nico Moretti, who's a chef from Perth, and he was giving some really great tips. And one of them was, so I'm just swapping my little meatballs around and putting the ones on the bottom to the top. That you know how sometimes when you're cooking your chicken in a curry, it can get a little bit shredded. So his suggestion was you just have your thigh fillets, you just literally cut them in half, no more than that. And you put the butterfly in and the butterfly stirs them around. But what you do halfway through, which is what I'm doing now, is you swap them around. So your chicken would be actually in the bowl, but partway through the recipe, so halfway through the cooking time, when you've got your halved chicken thighs, then you would just move them around so that the thighs that are sitting on top go down to the bottom. So everything gets cooked really well, but it doesn't end up shredded. So I thought that was a really cool tip. All right, I'm going to put this back on. I'll swap them around. I'm going to do another 5 minutes with this. All right. And whilst I'm going to put it on, I suppose. So one of the great things about this too is you can just go backwards. So I've gone backwards. I don't need 18 minutes. I'm going to put it on 5. Still on varoma temperature, speed 2. Just got to wipe my bench. Okay. All right. So I'll just quickly finish the rest of the immune boosting stuff here. All right. So we talked about that. The other thing is your yogurt, and that's obviously great probiotics and things for your gut and to boost your immune system with your yogurt. And sorry about the English accent, but it's never been yogurt to me. I've lived here longer than I've lived in the UK. It's always going to be yogurt. So that's that. And last but not least on here, poultry. So you know how when you're unwell, you know, as a kid, your mum always made you a nice chicken soup. Well, apparently there's a lot to it in regards to having a nice chicken soup. It can lower the effects of inflammation. And if you do use the bone broth, like I mentioned before, put the blade cover in and have and just have your bones in there. on top of the blade cover and fill it with water and cook for a slow, for maybe a couple of hours. Then you get bone broth. You can do that on your stove top, but if you do it in your Thermomix, then you don't have to keep going back and checking it. And that contains gelatin and chondroitin, which I'd never heard of before, but apparently it's really good for your gut health. So we all know bone broth is good for your gut health. A few years ago, when I helped in a health retreat for Indigenous people, we started every meal with bone broth. We made batches of it every night. And shellfish is really important as it contains zinc, which is required for our immune system to work properly. Okay, so oysters, crabs, lobsters, mussels, prawns, all those sorts of things are really good for your immune system and to help it work properly. Okay, so has anyone got anything else they want to add? Anything you've got, any tips you've got about this? I'm going to go and have a look in Cookie Do in a second, but anyone got anything else they would like to add, or anything that any tips you have in regards to immune boosting, anything that you make to boost your immune system? You're welcome to pop in the chat, come off mute. And in the meantime, I'll start sharing Cookie Do because there's a great recipe on there, one of my favorites. All right, so that's Pearl's prawns, but she can't have the beer with it. She's not doing alcohol. So for those who haven't been around for a while here, poor old Pearl gets her leg pulled all the time. She was always, anything that had alcohol in it, she said, yeah, I'll make that. But now she's off the alcohol, being very strong. All right, so our Cookie Do is an amazing resource. We've actually got a reasonably, well, it's an updated recipe all on ice creams, or collection on ice creams. We can now put our own recipes in there. It tells us what are the most cooked recipes. That pesto is beautiful, a pesto spaghetti, but I actually do zoodles. I'm not sure if it is zoodles. I made sanchoy bao in the week. So I had a recipe, something that I needed lettuce for, and I needed to finish the lettuce off, so I made sanchoy bao. Those look really good too. There's a little bit of interesting information here about the new blade cover peeler, which, as I mentioned, is a host reward. Eat green, so some plant-based foods. There's a whole heap of stuff to look in there. You can then start looking up here, and the reason I looked at this, I did look at nut balls because there's a good friend of mine who's vegan, and she said she really liked the look of the picture of what I was making tonight. And but of course she's vegan, so I said it's not vegan. She said there'll be something. So I did have a look, and these are actually nut balls, and they are cooked in the varoma over a sauce. So you could absolutely substitute those instead of what we're doing. All right. Whenever you're in here, you can look by collections. I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to go collections. Here we go. And this is the rest of the collection that's been updated, Beat the Heat. So some great ice cream recipes in there. I don't know if anybody's, well, I haven't done the roasted avocado, but if you've ever made banana ice cream, it's just frozen banana and it is just amazing. So there's lots of beautiful different recipes in there. And you might go, actually, vanilla, oh no, matcha and frozen mango yogurt. That looks really nice. Let's have a bit of a look at that. So I'll move this again. You can have a look in here. Obviously, it's got a freezer time involved in there. So that's why it takes quite a long time. Gives you all the ingredients, gives you the nutritional contents here, and it gives you any tips and tricks down here as well. You might go, oh, actually, I want to remember that. I'm going to add that to a collection. And I do know I do have an ice cream collection somewhere here. I thought I might need it, it's so warm. And I might want to add it to my week. So I'm going to add it to my week. I'm going to pop it in for, actually, I want to put it in for tomorrow if I'm going to eat it on the weekend. So pop it in there, and I can also add it to my shopping list. All right. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go out of this collection. These collections are really cool. So these are, again, very new. I think this is the Australian one. And it's showing you what the top 10 most cooked recipes in Australia and New Zealand in 2021. That is absolutely no surprise.
I know a lot of people rave about this. The paprika and chicken with sour cream is delicious. So is the teriyaki. Chunky bolognese, we have that regularly. Chicken Kievs, again, I was petrified about those for ages, but they're so simple to make. So there's lots of great things. And the reason there's 3 is because I have different countries in here. I've got one from the US. These are their top recipes. And this is the UK's top recipes for 2021. Tell you what, I think we look the healthiest in Australia. All right. If I go back into recipes, you can add filters. You can say, right, well, let's have a look. We don't want to make soups. Let's have a look at what we have. Let's go main dishes, fish. We can come down here. You can, if you've got an ingredient you want to use up in your fridge, you can pop it in there. If you're tagging something you might want, if you're vegan or gluten-free, I actually don't put a gluten-free tag in there because it just, I think if you're used to living with something like that, you know how to adapt. It will actually eliminate a lot of recipes for you. Difficulty, I don't worry too much about. Preparation time, I don't worry much, but I might want something on the table in 30 minutes. Okay, it's telling me I've got 94 results. I'm going to cook for 4, I've got 65 results. You can come down here and you can rate. I don't know, does anybody rate recipes? I rarely rate, I don't think I've ever rated a recipe. And you've also got the options of different countries and different languages down the bottom. So we can go in here and we can go, okay, these are fish dishes, total time of 30 minutes, makes 4 portions. It's a TM6 just because that's what I've got. And that we're looking at recipes from Australia, United States, United Kingdom, and they're all in English. So then you can have a bit of a look through. I haven't made that, but I know Kelly and I both made the tom kha, the chicken one, and it's absolutely delicious. So I'm imagining that would be fantastic too. But there's some, that is amazing, so quick and easy. So there's lots of wonderful things, and you can just add these to collections. You can put them in your week. All right. Just got to quickly keep going my recipe, otherwise we'll be here all night. And then we'll come back. I'll just show you the meal planning bits. Set the meatballs aside. Okay. So they are looking a lot better now. So the other tip with your varoma, when you're taking the lid off, always tilt it away from you so the steam goes away from you. And then I'm just going to pop those down there and get them out of the way. I will pop them in the thermo server in a minute. All right, 6 ounces of soba noodles. Okay, now soba noodles, if you're gluten-free, you need to have a look because you can get gluten-free ones and you have some with wheat in them. So I'm going to pop, oops. I'm actually going to break them in half, pop them in on everywhere, all over my computer. Okay, and then 10 ounces of broccolini. I think I'm a little bit under on this. Again, I think it's just that whole thing about different countries, you know, measure things in different ways. So the broccolini is going in. So it's mixed through the whole of the spatula. There we go. And then it's going to cook for 5 minutes. So I'm just going to pop that on. Quickly go back and show you the soba noodles. You can get them in the supermarket too, but if you want them to be gluten-free, just read the ingredients just to make sure. All right. Back in here. So if you want to find those, remember I put something in the ice cream collection. If I go into my recipes, you have bookmarks. I don't have many bookmarks. I just have a few things that I use quite a lot. That is my regular Tuesday breakfast, quick porridge, vegetable stock. The ghee is amazing. And this is fantastic. I love this juice. But a little trick with this one. With the immune boosting juice, so you take all the flesh and you take all the skin, just need the flesh of the lemon in there, the ginger, the honey, and the chilled water. All right. 1, I never strain through a sieve, but 2, depending on your honey, often you'll find that your honey will just be left sitting in the bottom of the bowl. So what I do is I blend it for 2 minutes, then I put it on 37 degrees for about a minute. So it is slightly warm, but it does mean that the honey has all dissolved and mixed in. So that's a good little tip. But Other collections are here. If I go creative collections, there's my ice creams down here somewhere. There's the matcha and frozen mango there. Okay, so that's where you find those. We go into my week. Oh, I need to actually clear my shopping list. So if you don't know how to do it, this is how you clear your shopping list. Clear all. Okay, and I've got nothing in there. But I would put in, so I know what I'll do. I'll pop in the ice cream. Pop the ice cream in there. I'm going to put this in too because I'm quite intrigued by this as the shopping list. Then you go show the ingredients in your shopping list. And here, if you've got them in your fridge already, you can get rid of them. So actually don't have either of those. Don't have frozen mango. I don't have fresh there. I need a lot of things. I've got spinach. I don't have celery, collard greens. I do have mint, and so on. So you get rid of the things. I've got the matcha powder. So you get rid of the things that you've already got in your pantry. And if you actually think you have, and then you go and you haven't, you can add them back in here. And you can add extra things in here. So let's go. I just put bacon on. All right. And then, so because you can have the Cookie Do app on your phone, I just take it to the supermarket like that. On my phone, I click off the ingredients as I've got them in my shopping bag, and away we go. But if you want to, you can order the ingredients. And this will take you to Woolworths online, and you can do click and collect, or you can have them sent to you as long as you've got a Woolworths account. So that is it's a great thing, I think, during COVID. If you don't like this brand, you can swap the brand. And if you don't want to do that, I usually do this from my phone, but you can actually share it. So I share from my phone and I send my shopping list off to my husband. He goes and does the shopping. So it's a really cool way of getting that done. And it saves you a lot of time, and it means that you're shopping for what you need. You're not walking around going, oh, I could use this or I could use that. All right, I have one more recipe to make I'd totally forgotten about, and this is Pearl's favourite. Well, it says like after the alcohol, but she's not doing alcohol. It might be her favourite for this year. And it is the 5-second traffic light salad. All right, so successfully connected, just waiting for it to come up. So I can then go in here, hit the hamburger as I call it, go to my week, and 5-second traffic light salad. This is a recipe which is in the UK, so when you're using those filters on Cookie Do, you need to make sure you have the UK in there if you want to find it. Start cooking. Another really interesting thing or cool tip, if you're new to Thermomix, when you take the lid off, if it's been on 0, it's going to go minus. So you always need to make sure that your scales are turned to 0. Now, I've literally chopped everything up and pop it in together. So I've got my carrots down the bottom there. I've got my red capsicum, got my broccoli. Oh, haven't done the apple. I'll get the apple. Hold on. So this is called Pfizer Booster Brain. Sorry. Actually, I'll make it without, doesn't matter. 30 grams of sunflower seeds. There, popping them in. Remember, they were really good for food with phosphorus and magnesium and lots of vitamins in them. And then this is just my mixture here of the dressing. So it's olive oil, lemon juice, honey, Dijon mustard, and salt and pepper. So that's all going in. Helen, this is probably killing you too. Sorry, no apple in there, but you know, it's the way it is. 5 seconds, speed 4.5. And that is it. But I'm going to pop some into a bowl now. So Boone, we might just go back to, they were sunflower seeds. Oh, no, sorry, not. They are, making me think now. Brain, I told you, the brain's no good tonight. Sorry. Yeah, there are sunflower seeds. Getting confused with pumpkin seeds. Boom, we might just go back to Wendy so she can show us the drink in a glass. And
There we go.
How does it taste, Wendy?
It actually tastes really nice. So I've just given some to my son who's 14, so Flynn, and he said, wow, that tastes something like you get at Boost. So Boost juice. So the coconut water is quite a light flavour, but you can certainly taste the coconut through it, but it's not overly powerful. But the blend of the fruits actually really, nothing's overpowering. It's really nice. The aloe vera, you can't really taste it, and the greens you can't taste, but it's actually a really nice, refreshing drink. So yeah, 10 out of 10, I think, for this one. Really nice.
It's always good when a teenager gives it a thumbs up.
Yeah, he's coming back for more, he said. So yeah, highly recommend it. And as I say, it took 30 seconds, so
yeah,
really good.
That's fantastic. I'm just serving up my soupy thing as well, and then I'll just show you the soup and there's my noodles and broccolini. Okay, so I'll show you my two dishes here. So that's the soup with the ginger and the meatballs and everything in it, and that's the salad. So it's such a beautiful, colourful salad. I know it doesn't have the apple in it, but it will taste really good, and I can always add the apple if I want to. All right, so thank you so much for coming along. I just want to let you know we've got a couple of things coming up next week. On on Tuesday evening, when I might have a brain back again, 8 o'clock, doing a whole session on cookie dough. So if you're not sure about cookie dough, we'll go into it in far more detail there, how to look to use up ingredients that are in your fridge, you know, and you know, just look at your meal plan, different ways you can look at your meal planning bit as well. So if you're interested in that, contact your consultant. Everyone on here has links for that, and I will be putting up an event in my Facebook group. So, and it's also gone out in my newsletter. So you should have the links for that if you've got the newsletter. And next Thursday, we are doing a class called Making the Most of TM6. So we'll be showing off different TM6 functions. So again, we'd love to see you along to that. And then Janny and Michelle, two other team leaders, I'm actually away the following week. They're going to do a class on cookie dough on Thursday the 27th as well. So just ask us, okay, a link for the green powder one. Yeah, we put that up a little bit earlier on, Wendy, but I'll find it for you behind the scenes. And just a reminder, we do have the, thanks Naomi, we do have this upgrade offer, trade up offer happening. And if anyone's interested in becoming a consultant, we'd love to have you on board. It's a great, you know, if you know people who are interested in purchasing a Thermomix, it's a really good way to come on board and join the team. We all learn a lot. We learn from each other, as we found out tonight. We've learned a lot more about Wendy and all the things that she knows. And it's just great having a diverse group of people doing this. So thank you so much for coming. Anyone got any questions? I'm just going to go back to another view, and just if anybody's got any questions, please feel free to come off. Thanks, Belinda. We love having you here too. I'm just so glad you took the plunge last year. It's a long wait. So really, yeah, thank you. Hope you all stay safe and well. And so the next session is, we've got next Tuesday at 8 o'clock on cookie dough, and next Thursday at 8 o'clock we'll be getting the most out of your TM6. Okay.
Mandy,
Yes.
you know how you can add recipes now? Can
Yes.
you amend recipes?
You can. I haven't done it, but you can.
Okay.
So I think what you do is any of the other consultants done that? Wendy, have you done it?
Only
or
because
Helen?
there's one with the zucchini slice. It says, you know, you put in your onion and then you meant to put bacon in and then you chop it up and then it cooks it. But we don't put the bacon in. And I remember to put oil in, but my husband doesn't because it doesn't come up on the prompts.
Right.
So end up burning the onion.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Okay.
wondering,
Okay.
is there somehow I can put a reminder in there to add oil?
I think you have to upload it as a new recipe, don't you?
Yes,
Okay.
you do. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you done it, Helen?
Yes, I have done them.
Okay.
To do that particular one that you're talking about, it's probably not really worth it because the way that it works when you're doing the guided cooking, there's a lot of
Yeah.
preparation to do it. It works just a little bit differently, but you can still make
Okay.
it guided. It's just a little bit different. So if it's really just the one ingredient that you're trying to eliminate, it's probably not worth it.
No,
Yeah,
but,
I might just
you
need to put a
can
little note.
hang on, but you can duplicate an existing one and then add the extra step and then name it for yourself.
Yes, you can. You can. But I think what Helen's saying is that sometimes it's easier. The guided cooking that we have on Cookie Do is easier than what you create in your own
Then the
recipe.
guided, yeah, it's easier
Yeah.
than the guided one that you create as a created recipe or bringing recipes into your created section. The guided side of it is just a little bit different.
Okay, that's
yeah.
all right. I just thought
I'll
I'd
tell
ask
you what,
because I make it and it works out fine, but yeah, when he's making it, he forgets.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do, I've got a recipe I want to put in anyway, and on Tuesday night, which I'll record as always, I'll put one in there and we'll have a bit of a play.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks again for
Thanks so
tonight.
much for coming. Thank you. Thanks, Fleur.
Bye.